Get started here picking out targets. I wanted to show you how iron infested this area is. Got the Equinox opened up. Turn the volume up just a bit here. There we go. Quite a bit of iron, quite a bit of faulting going on. So it's not extremely thick, but it is pretty thick. I mean, there's quite a bit of iron in here. So now what I'm going to do is start out, we'll start finding some targets, marking them, and then we'll come back and do the comparison and dig them. About to get started here. Got about, I would say, 20 targets marked by the GPX. So what I did is I started over here by the fence and just started working this way. I've got like targets marked by the Equinox, the Tarsacci, and the GPX. And my buddy was running the GPX, finding targets so that we could kind of speed it up. So then I kind of took the Deus through the area where the other targets were found, and I don't think the Deus is going to be a real good thing to take through here. Most of the targets that are left are deeper. Deus has a real problem, and I'm going to show you on some of these why I'm not going to do that as part of the comparison. So we got this one here. GPX found it. It's got a G on it. I mean, chances are you're not going to be digging that. Here's one, the Equinox. So it's squeaking, but no ID. There's another GPX one. You know, I mean, honestly, that could be iron, but here's one that Tarsacci found. No ID. But let's see what else we got here. I mean, you can see there's quite a bit of iron in this place. You know, like I said at the first of the video, I mean, there's been a couple of Deuses through here and the Equinox. Most of the targets that are left are harder to find, so just going to focus on the Tarsacci, the Equinox, and the GPX. So let's get on with it. Okay, I'm going to get started here. Now, let me say, we're just looking for non-ferrous targets. I mean, you know, the ID isn't really going to matter at this point. I'm just trying to find anything non-ferrous in here that's been missed before. Here's target number one. I'm gonna use the GPX first on the signals, or on the targets, and then you know, go through the other two detectors. But this first one, Equinox found. See a piece of iron out here. So Equinox found that one. Now, very possible that we're faulting off the end of this piece of iron out here. But we'll see. Okay, here's this signal that was found by the Equinox. Now as we get over here, there's iron. So not coming in that direction. Alright, grab the Tarsacci. Okay, here's a Tarsacci. Tarsacci is really hard to hear. I apologize. I thought my external speaker for the GPX was going to work on it, and it doesn't. So we'll do the best we can here. Here's the signal the Equinox found. Pretty much iron numbers that one way. Alright, let's dig that one up. Okay, this one, the target was in the side of the hole over here, about 6 inches down. Now right here, because I dug out the side. And it is 22 brass. Easy to lose. Anyway, there is the first signal, 22 brass. Sitting next to a piece of iron, because the iron, pretty sure is still, well, it is still there, so it wasn't faulting off the iron on that one. Alright, let's go to the next target. Okay, here's one of the 2 targets was found by the Deus after everything else had been through there. Good diggable target. Not sure why the other stuff missed it. I mean, there's not. There's a little maybe iron there, but some iron there. Could have just missed that in a swing, so. Okay, here's the target that Deus found. Honestly, this is one of those that ID's not getting high enough for me. A little bit of trouble that way. I'm guessing P-cap or 22 brass. Maybe 22 lead. Let's grab the Tarsacci. Okay, here's the Tarsacci on that signal that the Deus found the target, I mean. Same issue the Equinox was having that direction, kind of blanks out. So that target is typical of something small with the Tarsacci, where it doesn't really come in that clear. And so one thing I've found is running your threshold a little bit negative, and it makes those smaller signals harder to lock into, so you can avoid some of this smaller stuff. So anyway, let's dig that one up and we'll see what it is. Okay, as you can see on that one, very shallow target. Right there, 22 lead. Okay, so yeah, shallow. Kind of not a real good signal on either the Equinox or the Tarsacci. Obviously the GPX is going to love that, but Deus picked it up. Kind of suspected it was going to be something small like that, so let's move on to the next signal. Okay, right here there's 2 targets side by side. There's one that GPX found, my buddy found. Now on that one I also found that one with the Equinox, but didn't mark it because the numbers were so low. But he marked it because it sounded like a good signal. Now, next to it is the one the Equinox found. But what's weird is GPX is not picking that up, but there's a piece of iron right here. That very well could be a situation where the Equinox is faulting off that piece of iron. Okay, let's hit these two signals that are next to each other together. Go Equinox first. Hey, it's a good solid signal for the Equinox. There is a piece of iron over here. And then this one that I knew was there. Well, that's actually coming in pretty good. Kind of cutting out a little bit, but not too bad. Okay, Tarsacci. There's that first signal. We'll try to get as close as we can because it's so quiet. One thing about the Tarsacci is you got to get the sweep speed right. So it's a little bit hard to film and make it so you can hear it. So I might have to back away for a little bit and just tell you what it's doing. But so for the most part, it's coming in as a good signal. And so was that one. Let's dig them up. Okay, so the first target that came out of this hole that's probably 8 inches is now right here. And it is a big chunk of lead. Okay, now the second target, it's in this hole, and I'm down about 8 inches, and we still got a signal right there. Let's see if we can get that out. Alright, let me remove some dirt. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so that target, find the pinpointer here, came out of that hole, probably 10 or 11 inches deep, but it ended up being a steel ring. It was interesting that the GPX didn't sound good on that, because I know the GPX won't discriminate that deep, so it may have just been one of those targets where it was so big and not solid enough that it didn't lock in on it real good. Okay, here's a target the GPX found. Cutting out a little bit that direction. Not a nice solid sound. I got a couple other targets right in this area we're just going to go over since we're here. There's one right here, found by the Tarsacci. Screamer on the GPX. And one here, the GPX. Nice deep solid signal. Right out here with the Equinox. solid signal. Looks like we got some iron there. A little bit of iron there. Alright. Okay, here's the Equinox on the GPX target. Personally feeling like that is iron. Really choppy. Grab the Tarsacci, see what it says. Okay, Tarsacci on the GPX target. Good that way, just like the Equinox. That bubbly sound off to the edge makes me believe that that's iron too. Remember to get this sweep speed right on this thing. Just can't lock into anything. Most of the directions around on that, so let's dig that up, see what we got. Hell, I really didn't think this target was sounding good enough with any of the detectors to be anything good, but it's out. We're at a solid 15-16 on the Equinox. And it is a small piece of lead. That was interesting. Okay, here's one's found with the Tarsacci. Personally, don't know if I would dig that one. With the Equinox anyway. Okay, got the Tarsacci on this one. You'll notice I did turn black sand on this time around. Cut down on the EMI that's coming off the Equinox. But here's the Tarsacci. So diggable signal. Dig it up, see what we got. Alright, got down to it. It was kind of in the side of the hole. But it is right there. What are we? It's 6 inches deep or so. Ends up it's a Choppy buckle. So I said I wouldn't dig it with the Equinox. Tarsacci really came through on that one. So, alright, move on to the next target. Okay, target here with the Equinox that the Equinox found. And then I got one right next to it, the GPX found, so let's just go over that one while we're at it here. I tend to believe that one's iron. Grab the Tarsacci, get these two signals, we'll see what it says. Okay, here's the Tarsacci. Let me turn black sand off. Oops. Turn the Equinox off, so it should be fine now. So here's the target the Equinox found. Good diggable. Let's see what it says on the GPX one. We think's iron with the Equinox. Tarsacci also iron, but could be too deep for either of these machines. So let's dig those up, see what we got. Okay, so first hole, Equinox found. Right here somewhere. There it is. Looks like a cuff button. Pretty toasty though. Yeah, it's a cuff button. But it is toasty. To see if we can clean that up later and see if it's got a letter on it. It does have the shank on there, but it's folded over. So anyway, there's that one. And then on this next hole, the Tarsacci and the Equinox said was iron is in the plug. So I suspect it really is iron. There it is right there. Yeah, piece of tin-like stuff. Not very deep either, maybe 6 inches. Alright, let's move on to another target. Okay, here's one the Equinox found. My buddy said his GPX didn't sound real good on this target, and not sounding real good to me either. Okay, here is the target that the GPXs were having trouble on. Push that in a little further. Coming in with the Equinox though. Let's get the Tarsacci. Okay, here is the Tarsacci on the target the GPX didn't sound good on. A little hard to get a consistent swing in this tall grass. It sounds like we're getting a nice, soft, positive number. Okay, GPX was right again. Piece of iron. Equinox and Tarsacci were giving a relatively good signal on it. So, dig one more tonight and then we'll have to resume another day. Okay, let's grab the Equinox, Tarsacci. Okay, here's another signal that the Equinox found. Personally, on the GPX, it sounded a little choppy to me. I probably wouldn't dig it. But it's sounding pretty dang good on the Equinox. Yeah, I got the Tarsacci over that one too. Choppy signal on the GPX, it sounds really good on the Equinox. Also sounded good on the Tarsacci. Okay, so that target came into that hole. Ends up being a D-buckle with some iron left on it. It probably explains why it was choppy on the GPX. So anyway, nice target there. Okay, target here that was found with the GPX. Really nice sounding. Okay, here's a target the GPX found. Really kind of choppy on the Equinox. Okay, Tarsacci. Coming up good most of the time. Let's dig it. Alright, so that signal came out of right here. Ends up it's a coat button. Kind of toasty. I'll have to clean it up later. Hopefully it's got a D on it, but we will have to see. Okay, on to the next. Alright, I think this target was found with the Tarsacci. Sounds really good. Okay. Here is one I think the Tarsacci found. Sounds pretty good on the Equinox. Okay, here's a Tarsacci on that one. Sounds good. Pinpoint a little off to the side. Alright, that came out of the bottom of the hole, maybe 6 inches deep. And just a glob of lead. So yeah, on to the next one. Last signal, I think, well, this was one of the two the Deus found. Sounds really good. Okay, this is a target, I think this is one of the few targets I think the Deus found. Low numbers on the Equinox, but they're pretty solid. Okay. Okay, here's a Tarsacci. Good solid signal. Okay, we'll dig that up. Alright, so that one ended up being 22 lead. Probably, I'm guessing 3 inches or so.